Welcome back from that break. My name is Okila, and this is the CEO Bench, where we're talking to Mr. Kalombo from Nairobi, Kenya, the man who is oiling and planting seeds of marketing across the region of East Africa and, of course, springing out to the rest of Africa. If you're a marketer out there, this is probably the best interview for you to look forward to and share it far and wide so that we don't leave anyone out. William has talked about repping brands. Are you one of those people who are a rapist in our region? Can you repent of your sins? Welcome back, William, to the program.
Thank you.
William, very interesting choice of word that you used there. I know you explained it already. We're going down to a moment when we want to talk about something very interesting. One, do you think that brands have optimally utilized the event space across the region, across Africa, and across the world? Do you think that we have optimally utilized that space?
A few brands have got it correct. Mm-hmm. Some brands have had a lot of misses. Mm-hmm. And the misses is because the people on the brand side do not respect the hustle of the event owners. Mm. So severally, they look down upon you people in the event space and they don't take you serious. You have scenarios where you are planning an event 6 months down the road and brands are coming on board a day to the function. And they are all over your space trying to dictate things last minute. The idea for creating calendars for events is so that you can have everything oiled out in good time. So events are getting affected because we have very poor respect from some people on the brand side. Mm. They need to change and respect the hustle and come on board. If these forums, if these vehicles are not working, where will your brand tell their stories? It is in the interest of the big brands that as many events, as many vehicles are working in the ecosystem you're in, yeah, so that you are able to utilize them to tell your story.
Yeah. William, that said, in today's rapidly changing world, learning to lead our organization to read the turbulence that is brought about by the change in either technology, in our thinking space, in the way we look at money and entrepreneurship and investment and saving, is beginning to require that one needs to be critically aware of certain things that are very, very factual. My question to you is, in your view, what is ailing the marketing profession as a CEO?
Today, the biggest enemy to the marketing profession are the people who claim to be marketers, the people who occupy marketing offices. If you look at the finance guys, for instance, after the first degree, they are continuously learning. If you look at a lot of marketing people, immediately they finish that job, they get that big job with a big car, they feel like they have reached. So they don't invest in continuous learning. We need to relook at that, respect the fact that some critical knowledge you may have today could easily be obsolete by tomorrow. So it's in your interest that you continuously are available to keep learning so that you can sharpen your story.
Yeah.
I've seen situations where you have, say, a marketer's night, which is a learning forum, powerful learning forum. And because I, the boss, am not available, my whole department will not come because I'm not available. It means then you have closed the window for your own team to come out and learn. Yeah. What is bedeviling the profession starts from university. In my days, a class of 400 people, half the guys were doing marketing. Today, I'm told by my professor friends, in a class of 400, you'll find maybe 15 are doing marketing. The unfortunate thing is that the other one doing insurance or finance, at the end of the degree course, they're coming back to the professor and asking for marketing jobs. The whole profession has porous. It's been water washed. Everybody's claiming to be marketing. Everybody's claiming to do marketing. and is not protected. In Kenya today, we are benchmarking the Nigerian Institute of Marketing, where we are going to launch a code of practice for marketers, so that not every other lay-by character is claiming to be a marketing person. That then gives you a minimum number of CPDs to achieve every month. So it will force everybody now to go back to supporting the events you do, to acquire those things. By the end of the year, you must have a minimum. The accountants are doing it.
Yes. Lawyers are doing it.
Lawyers are doing it. Now HRM is doing it.
Yes.
Yes.
And even medical profession are doing it now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. So that said, William, do you think that the marketing profession is endangered? Are we the endangered species? Are we our own worst enemy?
Marketing as a profession is the force behind business, and it will be for ages.
Yeah.
But the current players in the space are endangered species.
So from I see your seat where you sit, you think that we are our very own worst enemy?
The biggest enemy to marketing is the marketing person, those who claim to be in marketing. We don't support anything marketing. Because you are in a big house, you don't look out to see what other people are doing. You get it?
Yeah. That right there is coming out from Mr. William Kalombo, who is the CEO of Marketing Africa. What is your thought? Do you think that you are your own worst enemy as a marketer? Are you the one endangering your own life? Are you strangling yourself because you're not going out to look for information, or because you have stopped thinking and abdicated the duty of thinking to others? That's why the marketers are being suffocated, right? Share your comment right down there on the comment section and ask questions to Mr. William Kalombo. He will definitely be able to respond to all these questions. And of course, we will be able to give you some tips, 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you need to do. But most importantly, Mr. Kalombo, as a practitioner of marketing, is definitely going to be able to answer your question. And it doesn't matter where you are. You've heard what Kenya is trying to do at the moment of bringing the code of conduct. What are you trying to do to get back in line? William, I love what you have said. I want to take you to this part that you've started doing, and has been in Europe. There's a lot of publication about marketing, and a lot of marketing publications. In Africa, in North Africa, there are quite a number of them. In South Africa, Southern countries are quite a number of them. In East Africa, you pioneered something that has now become a brand name. And you published Marketing Africa magazine, one of the leading professional publications that we have in the region today. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about this and the challenges that you face as a publisher in general, publishing marketing content?
Publishing is a challenging space.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest reasons for failures of people who tried out publishing is because I come out as, say, a serious business editor in one of the leading publications or media houses, and I imagine that I can publish my own. So you're finding people trying to do a publication and they are writing 50 articles by themselves. Publishing is a full business. You have to look at it with all the variables that affect a business. If we don't look at it like that, then it cannot cut. 1. 2, people are still in the old age where you still want to do hard copies. We do hard copies, by the way, for the Nairobi market and those who advertise. But you reached a situation where you have a digital space which gives you wide leeway to publish whatever you want. But a lot of us are lazy. To publish a successful digital magazine, you must first and foremost be in data collection. In fact, your business is data collection.
Yeah.
Because if you published a magazine and you're calling it digital, who are you locomoting it to? So we are lazy. We don't want to invest in data collection. And I can tell you, anyone can publish a digital magazine that can become very big, that can become very valuable. Ours is interactive. And we went digital in 2014, long before COVID. Long before COVID, because we had challenges at that time.
Okay.
You're printing 15,000 hard copies. Cost of print is high. Cost of delivery is high. When you are bringing to Kampala like 3,000-4,000 copies, we deliver the magazines here. Our contact here delivers half of them, dumps the rest in the office. It became very costly. So we chose to look for ways to cut through this problem. And that's how we went digital. On JobMag, and we're the biggest JobMag publishers in Africa.
Wow.
So when we went to JobMag, it took us more than 2 years for people to acclimatize to the digital magazine. But we hit cruise level before COVID.
Okay.
So by COVID time, we felt nothing. When they were saying now you can't distribute magazines, they can be source of infection, we are distributing ours at a button. We felt completely nothing. In fact, our advertising revenue grew during COVID.
Yeah.
And the readership has also spiked after COVID.
Yeah. Wow. That said, William, is the interference between marketing industry and the institution churning out budding marketers healthy? Is it healthy?
The interface is very poor. During my days, for instance, we had managers in serious corporates, BAT Kenya, Kenya Breweries, Nation Media, coming to our college to sit on my board. When you are closing for vacation 3-4 months, they used to take 600 students to go work and they pay them. Today's manager is too busy for the guy in college. We are not creating time for the students, yet we are blaming them for not catching up or doing the things the right way. So I think we need to calm down, create more time for these students. We used to do parties in our college where you have managers coming in. We used to have so many sessions where industry is coming to speak to students about different careers on very regular basis. We need to come back and talk to our students. It is the only way we can groom them to be the next generation leaders.
That said, William, I want to take you to a question which is interesting. William, on that part that you talked about, I want to take you to a level of change management as we move towards the closure of this interview today. We run job adverts in our publications and we look for people who have 15 years, 3 years, 4 years of experience when we want them to come into the job. But like you've said, many of these young people coming out from the universities don't have opportunity to work. How do we bridge the gap between the job adverts that go out looking for 5 years experience, 3 years experience, but I've just come from the university. I've never interacted with any brand out there, and the brand is only looking for people with experience. How do we bridge this gap going forward, in your view as a CEO?
We should bring that down and just hire people who are willing to work, people who are willing to learn on the job. All of us, what we do today, we didn't know. So you get to learn on the job. So long as they have the correct attitude and you are doing a professional onboarding, let's collapse that so that we are able to give our youngsters the window to come and learn on the job.
My next question is about change and management of change. COVID-19 came in and rocked the boat. Some of our organizational companies in Africa closed. Many corporate companies across the world closed. The marketing profession suffered a deep down, and many did not know how to manage change. You are a CEO of a big corporation now by our standard in East Africa and across the region. What is your understanding of change management, and which principles do you always apply when moving out? Say, for example, as a CEO, if you're moving out, if you're a brand, how do you move out? If you're now changing the relationship, you've been funding Marketing Africa for some time, you decide that you want to now leave Marketing Africa. What principle do you use to make that decision? 2, and how do you communicate, or how does one communicate, as well as how do they manage the change and address the problems that they have that is making them leave to go to the next level? We've seen brands, for example, saying we're parting ways with House of Talent, we're parting ways with Marketing Africa. And they don't say why they are parting ways with Marketing Africa. They just say we leave. Some of them are down to individuals. Others are down to the fact that the value are not shared properly. And not everyone finds this part very easy. You are a CEO.
Are you saying change management?
Yes.
Or being dropped as a client or losing accounts?
All of that is part of change management, because when you're being dropped as a client, there's a problem.
Yes.
And when you're a CEO, you are changing position to go to the next one, is also a problem. How do you manage change?
When you are losing accounts, it should be an occasion for learning.
Yeah.
There must be a critical reason why you are losing it.
Okay.
In some occasions, you find that somebody is dropping you because they have got their own preferred supply or something like that.
Yeah.
Some others could be malicious with you. They are not happy with how you are doing things. They are jealous, so they may drop you because of that. You shouldn't die. That you are dropped should take you back to the kitchen, to look at your own story and see, did I fail in my promise to the client? And a lot of times, our promise to the client is punctured from the beginning. It's punctured in the sense that I get into relationship with you as my account, but we don't state clearly what are the deliverables in black and white. So when we start the journey, you start getting now gray areas popping in, and you don't have proper accountability systems on your deliverables. So from the word go, if you're engaging a client, clearly agree on the deliverables, where you can both monitor the progress as you walk the journey.
Wow.
You will be fired even when you are doing the best of jobs. So it should not kill you. And that's why I talked about passion earlier on.
Yes.
Yes, just go back. If you made the mistake yourself, then polish up your story. If the client fired you because of their own issues, they keep moving, isn't it?
Well,
but change management itself is a very big problem in a lot of corporates, even in our own lives. When you find that the things you are used to are shifting, the boyfriend you had is moving on to another side, the girlfriend you had now has got better, handsome looking guys with fat pockets, it will hit you. What must drive you is that you have to pick yourself up and keep walking. Because the fact that I messed you up should not make you die. You dying will not kill me. Just remember that. If you die, it is you die. I'll continue moving on.
William, we're going to bring this interview to a close. Like they say, every good thing must come to an end. You are a CEO, all right? And the journey of being an entrepreneur is not an easy one for most people in Africa, at least. The fact that we don't have very many structures that support entrepreneurship. Your journey is one of a testament that when you started the university, there were so many people supporting you. When you came out, it was now real fire, that you have to survive. You are out of university. Nobody looking at you as a student who they can take advantage of. Now you are starting the journey. So my question is, the entrepreneurial journey has been a very slippery one for many people. And in my view, many people have gone down the drainage without knowing the nuggets of truth of how to bounce back from the challenges they have. What, in your view, is slowing down this in this part of Africa, particularly East Africa, that our entrepreneurs don't go past a certain level?
Entrepreneurship is a big challenge. The fallacy is that we imagine entrepreneurship only applies when you are running your own kiosk. The critical thing is that we need to coach people to have an entrepreneurial mindset, which means I can work for a particular company, but I have an entrepreneurial mindset. That mindset is one that brings solutions to challenges. So you can be a manager in any space, but you think solution to any challenge that you come to. So you don't have to necessarily run your own outfit to call yourself an entrepreneur. That's the first one. The next thing is that we've started what we call entrepreneurial clinics. And the idea behind it is to just pull together people in that space to learn, share and coach each other. That was based on the fact that a lot of people start businesses. They are entrepreneurs, they start a lot of businesses. And you imagine that all I need to start a business is money. We've seen it. So you have big money, you set big shop, you go beyond limits, and it collapses. The critical thing about entrepreneurship is that as much as you have that mindset, you must know the journey is different. The journey requires very many parameters. Cash is just one of the parameters. You need employees, you need partners, you need business. We've seen people start business. You start business, you get very big LPOs from people who will never pay you. So you end up collapsing. You get it? You've seen people start business and you step on toes, you are sued. You've seen people who run out of finance, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've seen people who are not compliant in tax matters. There are 15 critical elements that are killing entrepreneurs. So if they are alive to all these factors, it will make their journey more soft. Because any one of those factors can collapse you, I can tell you. So you must be permanently alive to the critical factors that will sustain your entrepreneurial journey. Also, it's not only money, it's not only having business coming in.
Wow.
Even growth, growth itself.
It's a killer.
People have mismanaged growth. So because you have too much business coming in, you just move on like that.
Wow. William, there are a lot of talks that SMEs are going to be the future of a future driver for Africa's economy. And many people are now beginning to focus attention to small and medium enterprises across, especially in job creation, where Africa stands out as a continent of young people across the 5 other continents that we have running in the world. What, in your view, are the gray areas when we talk about SMEs? And why are there many SMEs now collapsing instead of staying in very few years after setting up shops across Africa?
The collapse touches back to the issue I've raised on entrepreneurs. But for SMEs, everybody talks glossy about SMEs. I can tell you the biggest enemy to SMEs is the governments that we have across Africa. They'll tell you that we are supporting SMEs giving us business, but they are structured to tax this guy until he cannot breathe. You get it? They have not created any platforms that is supporting them. And the other players in the window, these are the people in the banking system, they are interested in you for just as long as they can suck your blood. They are lacking in the wings to come and suck your blood for their benefit. So you'll see them telling you, we are supporting SME. No, they're supporting you to be alive just so that you can help them hit their targets. We don't have a genuine drive to support SMEs completely.
In your view, what should be done to help this?
Government should take ownership, because the interest to have jobs created is a huge interest for government, more than anybody else. Remember, joblessness can create chaos.
Wow. And lastly, in that point, William, what would you advise a novice entering the business space for the first time to do? A young man, a young lady entering the business space like you were many years ago after Nairobi University.
Divorce yourself from passion. Do the best planning you can do. Fail working.
Well, that's the CEO Bench coming up from the CEO of Marketing Africa Limited, Mr. William Kalombo. What a quote right there, and that you can take over. If you're watching the program from Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Congo, Burundi, or Rwanda, or anywhere part of the world, we want to say thank you for listening to William Kalombo. But before William leaves this place, we want to be able to ask William, transformation of mind is such a big question at the moment in Uganda and also across the world. I'm sure it's the same in Kenya, that if you start by the renewal of the mind, you will transform the mind to move forward. We at the CEO Bench are always looking forward to a content that inspires the person to think, a content that will encourage the person to speak, a content that will help the person transform their mind. What does transformational change mean to you, Mr. Kalombo, as the CEO today where you sit?
Let me talk about the mind.
Yes.
I think that we have a polluted mindset in Africa, because if you look at what is happening in Europe and what is happening in Africa, the crisis is a mindset crisis. So you have people in Africa who are ruling you, who don't even have papers. Every available marketplace, the noisemaker there have become our MPs, have become our governors, have become everything you can mention. In effect, sidelining professionals. And professionals have taken a backseat. They don't want active participation in that space because it's dirty. They can really finish you. So we need to change our mindset and work for the nations that we belong to. Currently, you have people fighting to be in a public space to harvest for their individual stomachs. If you must harvest for your stomach, then run your own kiosk. If you must serve the nation, then come to the public space. We must differentiate those two. Stop rushing to grab a public office to eat for your families and the rest around you.
Thank you very much, William. Perhaps this is my last question going. What you talk about brings the question of character. And there is this saying that character is developed in a person through so many things that happened. First, have you ever failed in your life in anything? You know, we're seeing you right now speaking with so much good English and everything. Somebody out there might be thinking, I want to be like Kalombo, but has he ever failed?
I have successfully failed so many times. Even last night I failed, but here I am and we are moving on, isn't it?
Yes. The question is, I have had this thing in Kenya, something called character development. Yes. I want to know, can you share with us from the CEO bench, we want to understand the character development in the space in Kenya. It's quite a very interesting thing.
I know that this is a new word for Kampala. It's heavily used in Kenya, character development, especially in social spaces where people are talking about relationships, man-women relationships. So character development is where you indulge in some fling. You come with all your hopes on the table. Then they are all punctured like you break up the balloons.
And then, so why did you guys pick Nairobi people and Kenyan people pick this thing as the best way to link it to character? How does that link to character?
You see now, after the breakup, somebody's going to cry.
Yes.
They go crying, tears in buckets. So you find that, no, you can't be here now celebrating that you have this relation is working for you. Then suddenly you are completely off. People have even left social media because the relationship you are bragging about has totally collapsed and collapsed you as well. So William, so in the same space, you find business is giving people character development. You come in with a lot of hope, with a lot of plans, and everything you planned, you find is not working. Business is how you can break this glass on cement, for example. This glass will be your plan. But the reality is when the rubber hits the tarmac, it's very different. You hit this thing on the tarmac, on the cement, you don't know where the pieces will go to. We've had scenarios. The typical planning, I'll give you the example of planning for a drive. Let me talk of Mombasa. I love Mombasa. So you've serviced your car, you've done everything you wanted, and you're telling yourself, I'm going to Mombasa with my good people. We will take 5 hours on the road. We'll enjoy everything along the journey. When you start the journey, your tire goes flat. Your spare is not working. Your car is overheating. You find somebody has hit you from behind. You have so many things popping up that are puncturing your ability to keep the momentum. You get it? You reach a level where it is no longer important for you to reach, say, Mombasa in 5 hours. All you are saying is, all I want is to reach that place. a lot of us in business space,
Yeah,
you are in that mode.
Yeah.
All you want is to have this function done and you move on with it.
Yeah. William, what would you like the person who is watching the CEO bench and those who have nominated you to come onto the CEO bench to remember you for? CEO bench, we operate with the principle of, if you know that somebody has sense to speak, if you know a CEO that has created impact, nominate them. You are nominated overwhelmingly with a great number of votes right after the Marketers' Night that happened in Kampala. The very first one that happened after COVID-19 had locked down everything for almost about 2.5 years, going to 3. And here we are talking to you. What would you remember? What did you want them to take from you as we come to the end of the show, as your last word to the young man out there and to the young lady out there, as well as to your contemporaries who may not be able to have the courage to come and speak on the CEO bench like you?
They should not remember me. They should remember their trade, focus on it, and keep working, is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the show has come to an end. This is the CEO Bench. My name is Okila, and of course, William Kalombo, right here in Kampala. As always, the parting shot to William Kalombo from the CEO Bench is, have you ever cooked for your wife? And when, since you're always giving us the Marketers' Night out, is there a marketing night in your kitchen?
When we do Marketers' Night, I don't cook.
Have you ever cooked for your wife?
It won't help them.
The show bench has come to an end. And a toast to this. William, thank you very much for coming to the show. And from us here, we say goodbye.